Mr. Chairman, thank you. Senator Whitehouse and other members of the committee, thank you so much for allowing me to be able to be here. I sit here in this chair representing both myself and Senator Inhofe, who couldn't be here this morning because he's chairing the Armed Services Committee working on the NDAA today, or else we would both be here in this spot and to be able to introduce Justice Patrick Wyrick to this committee. He currently serves in the Oklahoma Supreme Court. He was appointed by Mary Fallin, our governor, in 2017. Prior to this appointment, he served for 6 years as the Solicitor General for the state of Oklahoma. In this role, he served as the chief appellate lawyer for our state and was very well respected in that role. From 2008 to 2011, he worked as an associate at Gable Godwell's in Oklahoma City, and from 2007 to 2008, he served as a law clerk to Judge Payne in the United States District Courts for the Eastern and Northern Districts of Oklahoma. Judge Wyrick graduated from the University of Oklahoma and from the University of Oklahoma Law School with distinction. He's a native of Atoka, Oklahoma. Does anyone else know where Atoka is other than Patrick and I here in the room today? Small town guy. He grew up in a great situation there. He and his wife Jamie have 3 children, Cole, Carter, and Claire. He is a very capable attorney and judge and will continue to serve Oklahoma and the nation well as a federal district court judge for the Western District of Oklahoma. Senator Inhofe and I both highly recommend him to this spot. Thank you for allowing me to be able to introduce him today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd first like to thank you and the ranking member for holding this hearing today, and thank you, Senator Whitehouse, for presiding. I'd like to thank the President for nominating me. It's an honor of a lifetime to be sitting here before you. Unfortunately, my family couldn't make it. It's my children's last week of school, also their birthday, but most importantly, they have a t-ball game tomorrow night that's very, very important, and since I'm responsible for 2 of the starting 9, I couldn't drag them away from that. My family's been wonderful throughout this process. My wife has been incredibly supportive, and my children, the one thing I know is that no matter what happens when I go home tomorrow, my children will give me a big hug and tell me about their t-ball game. I'd like to thank my home state senators, Senators Lankford and Inhofe. They've been wonderful throughout this process and walking me through this sometimes strange process and having trust and faith in me throughout this process. I'd also like to thank Judge Payne, who I clerked for. It's my first job out of law school. We spent a year presiding over the busiest trial judge docket in the state of Oklahoma. We went through many battles together, and the lessons I learned from Judge Payne have stuck with me forever. He repeated to me over and over that the most important thing in his view was that litigants who came into his courtroom left feeling as though they had their day in court. And that's stuck with me in my time ever since. Judge Payne is a wonderful man, and I appreciate everything he taught me. I'd also like to thank my colleagues on the Oklahoma Supreme Court. I came on the court. I'm in my 2nd year on the court. They've been incredibly collegial and supportive. They've written you letters in support of my nomination based upon their experiences with me as a judge, and I certainly appreciate them for that. Lastly, I'd like to thank my 2 law clerks. Without those 2, I couldn't do the job that I do. They make me sound smarter than I really am, and I appreciate them eternally for all the work they've done for me. Thank you.